Hi, everyone. It is Marilyn Alauria, and this is Who Can It Be Now? And I have a really special call today. It's a genius call with people who went through my SASS experience. So you're going to get to benefit from their expertise, their amazing qualities, their magic, everything that they have going on for them. The SASS experience is something that we teach. It's the 4-pillar system that I teach. S is for subconscious thinking, A is for alignment, S is for soul ignition, and then the last S is synchronicity, because when you are focused on your beliefs and really in positive beliefs and the belief systems that support you, you're aligned with your soul, remembering who you are, you're igniting the light in your soul, synchronicity automatically happens. It just happens. So today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be taking them through a genius formula using the SASS pillar system, because a lot of people are not clear on what it is they're meant to be in this lifetime or what they want to do. They know there's something calling them, something that's like, they're like clawing at the door to like, I want to do that. And they're not really clear on what it is. And this, I've done these calls quite a bit with people. And through this formula and through these questions that I'm going to be asking, this is going to help them to anchor into something inside of them that is unique only to them. It's their quality. It's only for them. And it's really, really beneficial and helpful. Like I've said, I've done these calls before because it's a bonus that comes with the SASS experience. And if you're interested in joining the SASS experience, you can go to joinsass.com. But the whole thing about this is that I find a lot of people don't put attention onto their qualities. They don't recognize that something they have, some life experience they had makes them really unique. And when you get into like, whether you want to build a business or not, but let's talk to the people that want to build a business. When you want to build a business, you start researching things. You start watching what other people are doing and you're like, oh my goodness, I want to do that. I can do that. That's really exciting. I want to do that. And then when you start going and watching more people, you tend to compare yourself to them, or you think, well, why am I different? Or I know that I would be just as good, or I could be a listener, but you may like struggle with insecurity, or how do I get my message out there? Or how do I stand out from the crowd? And the way that you stand out from the crowd is recognizing that who you are as a person, your life experience, your gifts, your listening ability, whatever it is that makes you unique to yourself, makes you unique in your business. So this really helps you to understand what is your unique footprint in this world. And I feel like this can be a domino effect to everything. It's how you choosing to live, how you're choosing to be like engaged with people, what kind of relationships you get into, what kind of business relationships you get into, and personal relationships. When you start acknowledging the genius inside of you, you start really coming from your heart and soul in everything you do in your life. And it really helps you to fall in love with yourself and helps you to fall in love with the parts of you that you may have thought were shameful or experiences that were difficult. And then all of a sudden you start recognizing, wow, that's what made me really strong, or that's what made me really good, or that's what makes me really compassionate to other people's problems, or really why I want to help people. I have a lot of glare, so I'm going to lower my blinds. For people on the podcast, you're not going to see my glare. So we are going to get started. So I want you guys to have a pen and paper. If for some reason you like to talk out loud, because that's what I like to do, like when I'm meditating, I'm a journaler. I journal every morning, but I'm also a channeler. And when I channel, I speak out loud to my guides. And then whatever they say back to me, I repeat into the recorder. So if you feel more comfortable speaking out loud, by all means, speak out loud. It's totally fine. Anybody who's listening on the podcast, you can play along. If you're walking and listening, just answer out loud, and then you can go home and do it as a journal exercise. What I'm going to do with you first is just ask you to close your eyes. They take over, by the way, so I know I'm speaking really fast and I'll try to slow myself down, but it's very hard for me to slow myself down. And I just want you to take a few breaths into your physical body. And you may be like, well, of course we're taking breaths into our physical body, but what I'm asking you to do is to bring attention to your physical being, which is walking this earth. We are spiritual beings having this human experience. We've all heard this, but how do you bridge the gap from being so spiritual into the physical is what I like to teach. How do you take all this incredible gifts that you have and bring it into physical, so that you're not living in a closet, you're not hiding, you're not like, oh, I can't be near people at all. Instead, you're making really positive choices, good choices for yourself. You're getting out of the closet. You're surrounding yourself with people who are light-minded and really get you and see you. And most importantly, you're seeing and hearing yourself. So as you breathe into your being, I want you to almost imagine that you're holding a mirror up and you're seeing yourself. And I want you to congratulate yourself for showing up. We don't take enough time to acknowledge the hard work we do. We're too focused on the things that aren't working. And in order to do the work that you're called to do, you have to acknowledge the magical, amazing being that you are. Now, I want you to know that my guides are here with me, so a lot of this is coming through from them. And I want to share a really quick story with you. Last night, I was getting ready for bed, and I looked in the mirror, and we look in the mirror all the time. And for some reason, when I looked in the mirror this particular time, I really had this incredible amount of love for myself. When was the last time you acknowledged yourself in a loving manner? Think about that. What was something really loving you did for yourself? And just breathe into that feeling. And if you don't know of one, then I want you to put one in the future. Well, you know what? I'm going to make a really delicious cup of tea and just look out the window for 5 minutes. Every night I spend 5 minutes now just closing my eyes and breathing. So breathe into the feeling of what you can do or what you have done that really lets the universe know that you show up for yourself, you see yourself, you hear yourself, and you love yourself. And as you breathe into that, make that even bigger inside your physical body. Like, grow that love, grow that light. Usually I see it as a light. And when I breathe into it, it ignites the flame inside of me. And then that beautiful light just goes into every crevice of my physical being. From my tippy toes to the top of my head, it may even seep out a bit to my underarms, whatever it is. It is just, I'm just with my own personal breath, because you all are the master of your destiny. So with your breath, you're igniting the light right now inside of you. And I want you to finish this I am statement. I want you to give yourself a character trait right now. And what I mean by that, it could be, I am courageous. I am free. I want it to be something you believe. I am abundant. I am a compassionate person. I am beautiful inside and out. I am loving. I am an animal lover. Whatever it is, I want you to take that I am statement, but it has to be a believable one. And I want you to breathe that inside your physical being. And I want you to notice how that feels. And I want you to acknowledge that no one gave that to you. You just gave that to yourself. Now we're going to start the work. So I want you to open your eyes. And what I'd love for you to do is to put in the chat, if you're comfortable, because I'm going to read some of them, what your I am statement was. I am, for me, and we know this, a lot of people have their own understanding of I am, but I am for me is God in action, universe in action. It's me owning that I'm fully connected with source, and that when I say this statement, I give it intention and power. So I want, for people that I work with, I empower them. I don't take their power away. I don't have your power. I like to ignite your power inside of you. People, I feel, before 2020, were very into this habit of, you know better than me. Please tell me. Now you can get coached, but no one knows better than you than yourself. And what we're going to do right now with this genius call is we're tapping into the power part inside of you that knows better than anyone else. So I just want to see, and if anybody struggled with that statement, let me know. And then try to hit everyone when you're chatting so that everybody can. So if you scroll all the way up to the chat, you'll see everyone in meeting and you'll get to be able to chat with everyone, which is great. Compassionate. I am love and loving. Love that. I'm loving. I'm an animal lover. Love it. I'm caring and compassionate. I'm smart. Love. I give and share it unconditionally. Beautiful. Okay, great. So now we're going to go through the SASS pillar system. How many of you, let me know this now first, want to have a business or have a business? Want to have a business or have a business? Put that in the chat for me so I know how many of you are looking to have a business. I have a business, Gina. Dana, no. Want to, Tammy, great. Want to, good, yes. Okay, I'd love all of you to answer so I know where you're at on the spectrum so that I can help those of you who don't, I can make it. So for those of you who don't have a business, when you, or don't want a business, for those of you who don't, you're like, no, and don't want it. Writing is a business, Marianne. So she says not wish to write, but no, that is a business. If you want to write a book, any publisher, if you're going to get it published, they're going to want to know what your following is. They're going to want to know what your reach is. You can self-publish too. But I can tell you from having a publisher and doing a book, you still need to, and I haven't been promoting it as much as I'd like, you still have to promote it and you have to promote it to an audience. So I just want to share that with you. So those of you who don't, what are you hoping to gain from the genius call? What are you hoping to gain from the genius call? That's what I'd like to know. And then we're going to tap in now. I just want to see those answers. Okay. And these are great, guys, by the way. And I also would like to know real quick, know my gift. Okay, great. That's great. Okay. Now, I want to say something about this. Dana said, know my gift, be more intuitive in my management work. Perfect, Joyce, man. I can help you with that. Gain insight and direction. Insight and direction to what, Carol? To live your life, to live a full life, to what? That's what I want to know. So to know your gift, I want you to recognize that your gift, besides it might be psychic. People are always like, what's my gift? It's all psychic. Your gift could be listening. Your gift could be writing. Your gift could be telling stories. Your gift could be adding comfort to someone just through their presence. Gifts go beyond the psychic gifts that we think. Amp up my inner flame, more joy in life and deeper connection to soul's purpose and direction. Soul spirit as my compass. Okay, great. Okay, let's get started. We're going to start with the first pillar, which is subconscious thinking, the first S in subconscious thinking. And I want you to write right now a defining moment. Let me finish my sentence. A defining moment in your life that was life altering. A defining moment in your life that was life altering. Now we have many, and if anybody needs an example, just put example in the chat and I'll give you examples. Yeah, sorry, Marianne said death of mom and best friend in 2018. That's a lot to go through. Intuition and connection. So I want you to look at this defining moment in your life and write a couple of sentences about it right now of character traits that it gave you. What did it grow inside of you? So if I go to a defining moment of choosing to leave my boyfriend when I was working at MTV, who was a big producer, and really making that decision to leave him, no matter what, no matter how much I cared about him, the defining moment was I decided to put myself first. I realized that I loved myself more, that no matter how much it hurt, that I had to take care of myself. So what are the character traits? Courage, love for myself, strength, trust myself, so those are the character traits. So write down at least 3 to 4. And I'd like you to write them down on paper too, because you're not going to get the chat. So it's really important that you hone in on what are the character traits. At least I'd like 3 if you can come up with them. And if anybody's struggling, let me know and I'll help you. 3 character traits that you had, and I'll stop talking in a second so you can kind of think about it. Okay, I'm going to give you just a few more seconds. Okay. So Marianne shared, observe a new perspective on life and aging. She was the one who said she lost her mom and best friend in 2018. The past needs to be put behind. Very good consciousness, strength, more decision-making ability, increased connection with the unseen intuition. Joyce was feeling less than, wanting growth. Great. So here's my question to you. If a gift was born out of this moment, what gift was born out of this moment? And what I mean by that is, if I take Marianne, who said she is putting the past behind her, a new perspective, there's a possibility that the gift there is that she's able to see someone else and help them to see a new perspective in life because of her life experience. So what gift was born out of this moment for you? And don't spend, I'm going to get quiet, but don't worry about that you're going to get it wrong or right. I find spiritual people think if they write it down, it's written in stone. It's like the 10 Commandments, and written in the stone, and you can't change it. It's not true. It's all discovery. So what gift was born out of this moment? And I'd like to see it in the chat so I can continue to work with you guys moving forward if you're comfortable with sharing. Beautiful, Alyssa. Alignment with higher self. Beautiful. So perfect for your business, your healing business, right? Courage to do something hard, connecting my dad who crossed over, the release of so many emotions. Great. So now what I want you to do with this, Alyssa and Gina, okay, let me see a few more. Connecting with self and recognizing need for more, increased intuition. Great. Tammy did a great job. This is what I want. This is really good. Everything you're saying, like Alyssa said, higher self. So I know Alyssa's business. Alyssa has a healing business, and she's using her higher self in her work to help other people heal. So I want you to think like Raywin, and like Gina said, it increased her intuition. Raywin, I want you to think how did trusting myself, whether you want a business or not, I want you to just play along with me. How did trusting myself, how would that help me to help someone else now? Let's take this a little bit further. How would growing my intuition help me to help someone else? How would, Carol said, an understanding of oneness and how to share this. I love that, Carol. Great answer. Really great answer. So how could having these things help you to help someone else? Give me that in a sentence in here. Oh, beautiful, Tammy. That's what I want to do through Reiki. Remember, try to do everyone if you can, so we can all participate. Just go all the way up in the chat and hit everyone in meeting when you're chatting. Beautiful, Gina. I'm going to take a few more before I read them because I have another place to take you. And if anybody's struggling, let me know. Just write struggling. And I will help you at the end of this call, but we're going to all talk anyway. Trusting my higher self of guidance. And also, Alyssa, what I feel like with you, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or right, your higher self is coming through in your sessions with people. We'll continue that, like your higher self is going to come through. Could you repeat the question? Of course, Carol. My question is, how can this gift that you have, how can you help somebody else with it? And I believe you answered already by what you said. And for those of you, she's an understanding of oneness and how to share this. How would you imagine sharing that understanding of oneness? So you're just unpacking things now. So like Marianne, you said empathy can help intuition and then help us to heal and shine a light. Is that what you want to write about? Do you want your reading, what people are reading, to help them grow their intuition and to help shine their light? Making better decisions. Joyce, that's great. That is great. Love that. Give them hope when feeling lost. Love it, Carol. Okay. Is anybody struggling? Supporting someone to achieve a goal that is hard and will be life-altering. Gina, beautiful, Gina. Bring joy into the world. Love it, Raywin. Beautiful. So I'm going to take you to the next part, but before I do, I want to say something. People complicate their gifts. Has this been complicated so far on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being not complicated, 10 being, 1 being complicated, 10 being it's not complicated? Yeah, Alyssa's like, no. Yeah. 7, great. Gina, because you're probably a little thinking there, having to do a little thinking, a little unpacking. 9, great. 7, good. As long as it's a 7 and above, I'm good. Even if you're at a 4, I don't care, or a 2. There's no right or wrongs when you work with me. There's just discovery. Okay, so now play with me a second because we're moving into alignment. And this is all alignment. What you're discovering, oh, a few tears. I like that, Marianne. What you're discovering, that means you're sitting with your truth when you cry. What you're discovering is your innate ability. You just took a life experience and you've discovered the character traits you grew from that life experience. Then you gave birth. You gave birth to a gift. You recognized a gift that you had, and then you recognize how that gift can help others. So that is great. So that's moving into alignment. You're not looking at Joe Schmo out there who's a spiritual teacher on a stage and wondering how you could be like Joe Schmo. You're like, no, wait a second, I've got something to give. And like I said, whether you want to grow a business or not, you still want to operate your life like this. You're still going to the grocery store and offering up oneness. Carol, I guarantee, is probably talking to her neighbors and helping people with compassion and understanding. She's shaking her head, yes. This helps you to live a fuller life. So now I have a question for you. And you did this a bit in the SASS pillar system if you did the work, and if you didn't, don't worry about it. I want you to go down memory lane, and I want you to go to your earliest memory of what you wanted to be. Now, sometimes people don't have memories because they suffered so much trauma when they were younger. So it could be when you were 25, or 22 when you went to college, or when you graduated high school. I don't care when it is, but something you wanted to be. I want to see that in the chat right now. So I wanted to be an actress, and I knew it at 5 years old, right? And then I wanted to be a writer. I knew that at 12 years old. So there were different things, times that, writing, actress, making people laugh, which I'm not really doing on this podcast right now. Repeat question. Raywin, so something you wanted to be when you were younger. Something you wanted to be when you were younger. Your first earliest memory, flight attendant like my mom. I love it. Math teacher, great. Wanted to work with Jacques Cousteau. Love it. Interior designer, a veterinarian, or a background dancer like Goldie Hawn. I'm laughing. I love it, Gina. That's great. Okay, so I want everybody to have what that is. And if you can't remember, go to your earliest memory. Help people, love them, make them feel better. Great. I want to be a nurse and look after grandma when she gets sick. That's so sweet, Carol. So, so sweet. I love that. Okay. Raywin, do you have something? Did I see yours? Because you were the one who said you didn't understand. You asked me for the question. I want to see yours. Okay. Spread joy. Great. Okay. So now I want the people that said spread joy and the people that said help people, love them, make them feel better. I want you to think what kind of occupation that would be. What would that be? Would that be a nurse? Would that be a psychologist? Would that be a coach? Doesn't mean you're going to be that. I'm not telling you you're going to be that. I just need it for the next part of this exercise. Like Elisa said, flight attendant. So it's very, very clear. And there's a reason for this that I want you to do that. So I want you to even working with Jacques Cousteau, which I love. I think that's great. But you had veterinarian, you had dancer. So you have very clear things, Gina. I think it was Carol wanted to work with somebody. I can't remember who it was, but it doesn't matter. Great. Nurse. Great. Raywin, I want you to come up with something, honey. I'm going to push you. I push people. Great. Help kids learn would be a teacher. So I want you to come up with a occupation. There's a reason. Okay. Here's the next part. Motivationalist. Great. Feels like comforting presence and healing touch. Great. Marine biology. Great. There's a reason why I'm having you do this, because I find with spiritual entrepreneurs, they get so much information from whether they know they're in touch with their guides or not. They're getting information from the universe, from source energy. They're picking up information from people around them. They're then mixing it up with their life experiences. They're having their creative juices turned on. So all this stimulation is happening that they have shiny new object syndrome, that it's running so fast around them that they sometimes struggle, a lot of times actually, with focusing on a specific thing to help move them forward. And the reason why I'm trying to get you into very specific things is not to box you up, because I don't believe in boxes, is to get you to start thinking in a more grounded way so that you can take very actionable steps towards where you want to be and how you want to live, and actionable steps in the moment. So that's why I won't let general statements out there. Okay, now with this type of job, what 3 character traits would you possess? Or why did you want to do this? So it's 2 questions. You can answer either way. What 3 character traits would you possess to do this job? Or why did you want to do it? I'm going to give you an example. And those of you who watch SASS, you know this. So I wanted to be an actress, right? So I wanted to make people laugh. I have different reasons each time. Make people laugh. I wanted to motivate people through story. And I wanted to be seen and heard. And what I learned by my own psychological work that I did on myself, that I needed to see and hear myself. It was no longer necessary for people to see and hear me on a stage in order to give me value. I love motivating people through story. I love making people laugh. I use that today. I teach people how to be seen and heard. So you can see how the 3 things that I felt I needed to have as an actress, why I wanted to be that thing, is stuff I can use today. So what are the 3 things that you think why you would want to do this? What are the 3 character traits or the 3 things that I just said? Motivate through story, making people laugh. I want to see that in the chat. Oh, I love that, Alyssa. Alyssa's in Next Level Living, and Alyssa has her own business. And travel, have fun, and be of service. That is so good. I want that in your business. Okay. I want that in your business, like always having fun, which we know it's not easy to build a business, right? But that's what you're teaching other people. You're already of service. And then how you can bring this business like on a travel, or take people on trips, healing trips, and bring them through. Like you can even do it with hikes, maybe in your area as like a meetup group, and you lead a hike just for the fun of it and a healing journey. So I love that for you, Alyssa. When you get a chance to speak, we'll talk about that. We can also talk about Next Level Living or in Messenger. Joyce said, be important. Beautiful, Joyce. Be smart and be heard. Beautiful. Compassion, wisdom, organize, Raywin said. Great. Okay. So keep them coming. I'm going to give you a second. If anybody struggled, just write struggle. Be of service, showing others compassion, nurturing. Dana said, I love to help people feel seen, heard, and loved. That's how I love to feel. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Compassionate, loving, and athletic. Good. So now, let me ask you something. For those of you, especially who went to the past and found a career of something you wanted to be, was there somebody in your life who told you you couldn't be it? Can you all, I'm sure we all have things that we can think about in our life where we have situations or experiences where people said you couldn't be that particular thing. Is that a yes or a no? I just want to know that in the chat. Because as an actress, the first memory I have, the first person I ever said it to, she said, oh, you can't do that. And I'm just curious. So Joyce said, no, no one said that to her. So that's good. I'm just curious. Just for information for me. And for me, no for me. Good. Okay. You have less struggles. Okay. A lot of no's. Yes, my my one and only airline interview. That's hilarious. You can thank them for that. Yes, made me feel insignificant. Exactly. My allergist doctor told me I could not be a veterinarian. See, that's yes. It was a yes more related to affordability. Great, Carol. So I want you to notice that sometimes there's a belief that knocks up against it that was born from somebody else's opinion about you, and it's not true. So now we're going into the soul ignition part of this, okay? The soul ignition part of your genius call. Of this genius call. And I want you to think about all the traits that you came up with today. The gift that you have, the higher self, the intuition, helping people to feel like one. And I want you to write down the gift that you have and the thing that you feel you could do with it. So I want you to start there. The one gift that you have and the thing that you feel you can do with it tomorrow. The thing that you feel you can do with it tomorrow. And if that scares you, I'll give you a week from now. I'll give you an example. So I love motivating people through story, right? This may be hard for some of you, not all of you, but I love social media. I don't have a problem with it because I don't follow rules of social media. I do what I love to do, how I love to do it. So when I want to tell a story, I just put it on social media. And it's really because it comes from my organic place of truth. I get a lot of response from it because people can feel the energy behind it. And what I love more than anything is that I get to help people relate. They feel relate. Even me just posting a thing with the FBI. I got a thing in my LinkedIn to apply for a job at the FBI. I was like, I would love to work for the FBI. Oh my goodness, I love true crime. And I put it up on my Facebook page and everybody's like, there's people like, I love true crime. I love true crime. And then I came up with an idea. I'm like, oh, I should do a little psychic circle where we solve a crime using our psychic gifts, and people are like, yeah. So it just allows you to use your strengths to connect. So I'm going to give you a moment right now to write that in the chat. And just put down like what your gift was and what you can do with it. What your gift was and what you can do with it. Okay, I'm simplifying it. What your gift is or was and what you can do with it. And some of you look confused. Gina, you just said intuition way up above, didn't you? Let me look at Gina's. What was your gift that you said early on from the very first thing we talked about, from that experience you had, from that life-altering experience, supporting someone to achieve a goal that is hard and will be life-altering? That's a gift. I'm glad you said that. That's a gift. We don't acknowledge our gifts. Joyce was the intuition. Okay. So Gina, can you see how that is a gift? People think gifts are clairvoyancy, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience. Yes, those are gifts. But if you don't acknowledge the truth of who you are, you're going to struggle opening up your psychic gifts. The best way to open up your psychic gifts is to know who you are, because your instrument is the one who is telling you how you're seeing, how you're hearing, how you're feeling, how you're sensing, how you're knowing. And if you're not acknowledging who you are and how you work and operate, you're not able to notice how you're seeing, hearing, feeling, sensing, knowing. Okay, so Gina, I'm here to help you, but I want to see what you put in. And I want everybody to answer. I really want everybody to answer. Because look, we only have an hour to do a genius call, and I'm trying to get, sometimes I get people to their exact genius. Sometimes I don't. I just start ripping off the Band-Aid to this, it's not even a wound, it's to this incredible part of you that you hid, that you thought wasn't worthy. And it's actually got all your information. It has all your amazing energy. It's got all your gifts. It's got your sensitivities. It is your access point to the deeper part of yourself. And this is going to unravel in time to somewhere. Okay. Taking people on a guided journey to somewhere beautiful. Love that, Gina. That is beautiful. Share my feelings of oneness to help people find peace. Great. Listen to my guidance. Ask them. Great, Marilyn. Using my intuition and compassion to help people heal themselves through Reiki. Love it, Tammy. Marianne says, I'm compassionate and optimistic. I love to help people feel heard. I love to be in presence of people. I taught school for 38 years. Good. I give unconditional love and want to help the world be more hopeful, one person at a time. Great. Love this. Joyce, helping my own kids with direction in their lives. Beautiful job. Alyssa, start going out and meeting people in my area and look for ways to be of service. I love that, Alyssa. I love that. Okay. We're going to go a little more into the ignition. But before we do that, with everything you just wrote on I love scales because they really help you to get clear. On a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being it's not true, 10 being it's true, what you just wrote, where are you on that scale from 1 to 10? 1 being not true, 10 being fully true. Alyssa, 10. And it's okay if you're at I don't care if you're at a 4. Carol said a 4. Beautiful. You want to know where you're at, because if you're not at a 10, there's room to grow. Even if you're at a 10, there's room to grow. But you want to start growing from that place. You don't want to put it away. Joyce said 6, Dana said 8, Gina said 7. Great. 6, great. Okay. Now, moving more into the soul ignition part. Close your eyes. There's a light inside of you that everything you just did, that light was born. Everything we just did in the past 35 minutes, this light became bright. You may not see it, but I want you to find it. And if you can't find it, I want you to point somewhere in your body or decide where it is. I want you to breathe into that light. And I want you to make it bigger. Your breath is igniting that light inside your soul. So whether you're a 4, a 6, a 10, there's always more fuel that you can put to that flame that grows it. The only thing you need to decide right now is if you're willing to do it. If you're willing to discover more about yourself, if you're willing to unravel the ties around you that were put there by other people, other situations, experiences, hard times, whatever it is, to see your truth. to see your magic. You get to decide that. So breathe into that light and decide what commitment you have to yourself to discover this more. You already have a great amount of commitment because you're here. But how much further do you feel you can go? You may be confused. You may be like, I'm still not sure what my genius is. And I can tell you a couple of things about that. Just keep breathing into that light as I talk. Many times it can't be revealed, like I said, in just this short amount of time. But I can promise you that I have now unleashed it. I can promise you that you're getting close to it. And I can promise you that if you continue to ask yourself, what is my genius? And you take every moment in your life, every night you go to bed and you say to yourself, what was a genius moment for me today? Where I connected or helped someone, or I helped myself, or I acknowledged myself, or I walked in nature. What was a genius moment for me? And if you do that every single night before you go to bed for like 3 weeks, you're going to continue to discover why you're here. Now, I can't do that for you. You have to do it for yourself. So I want you to breathe into this light right now, and I'm going to give you something else I want you to do in a moment. And I want you to recognize that recognizing a moment in time in your life where you had a difficult time and these incredible character traits were born out of it, that ignited your genius. Your life experience, the person you became, is part of your genius. Then recognizing the gift in that. I listen to people well. I really care about people. I'm compassionate. I really want to help people. I want to take people on trips and help them to discover exciting things. That's a gift. But people don't acknowledge that as gifts because they are used to the other types of gifts out there. That's a gift. Breathe into that. Breathe into the fact that you've already been on this journey and you have done the work. And then from that, you started seeing ways that you could help others. And through the ways of helping others, you may have a career. Some of you don't want one, but you may find a way of being of service that is just so fulfilling in your life. And it brings you into situations where more adventure happens, better connections, meeting really great people. Breathe into that. And then you remembered an occupation that you used to want to be and why you wanted to be it. And that gets thrown into this. Because if you wanted to do it back then, you probably still can do a piece of it today. May not be like if you wanted to be a basketball player and you can't be a basketball player today. Doesn't mean you can't do something else, play, have fun, go on the basketball court and just throw the ball. You have more power than you think. All of these combined create your unique footprint in this life. So now I want you to think of 3 ways you can feed this flame in the next 3 days. I want you to make it simple, and I'm going to give you examples. The reason why I say 3 days is because a lot of times people have these experiences and they're like, that was great. And then they don't do anything with it. Nothing changes. You can't do that. 3 things can be going on YouTube and looking at a travel video, going to your neighbor and seeing if they need any help, going to church and just sitting in church and praying, going to a volunteer someplace. It could be as simple as just donating books to the library that really helped you and writing a little something in there because somebody's going to take that book out and they're going to read something from you that's going to really support them. It could be anything at all. So I want you to come up with 3 things right now that you can do. And I want you to commit to yourself right now to do it. I want you to commit to do it. And you can't say there isn't enough time. You have to find the time. Don't go on Facebook one night. Don't go on Instagram and watch reels. There's always time to be found. Prioritize it. Discipline yourself. Focus on it. Take action. And when you do those three things, before you do it, I want you to ask yourself how you're feeling from a scale from 1 to 10. Then after you do it, I want you to ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 how you feel. And anything that is a 6 and above, I'll say, you want to do more of. When you do this, it truly shifts and changes your life. Okay, breathe into your own physical body. See that light. Say your name to yourself 3 times, calling your spirit back into your body. And then on the chat, I want you to tell me what are the 3 things you're going to do. What are some of the things? You can tell me one thing and I don't mind. One thing. Show compassion to people I support at work. That's great, Tammy. Book a trip to Maui and pack my bag. I love that, Gina. Write messages and books I give away. I love that. I never had that one for myself, Ray, when it came through me. So that was for you. I love that. Be of service in a 12-step meeting. That's amazing. Swim in the ocean, go on an adventure, and revisit my book draft. Love that, Carol. Really love that. Keep going, guys. I'd like to see these. At least one I want to see from all of you. It's really important that finish reading spiritual assessment I received. Love that. And help son with career skill identification. Beautiful, Joyce. Do yoga and Qi Gong. Do grounding exercise. Great. Okay. Support and encourage my children. Okay. So now if you had a guess, I'm going to do this again just because a few of you said this. And then we're gonna open up to Q&A because I do have to end soon. Research different types of healings, touch, continue supporting my kids. Beautiful, Dana. Be open to the Cledens and messages surrounding me. Open to Cledens ground. Be grateful daily. Pray and journal. Support and help. Beautiful, beautiful. If you had a guess out of the psychic gifts, you just did a meditation. You saw, you felt, you sense things, you got ideas. Getting ideas is claircognizance, seeing is clairvoyance. You heard my voice, but you also heard your own direction. That's clairaudience. If it's linear, it's clairaudience. If it's a download, it's claircognizance. And if it's intuition, it's more of a clairsentience to me. Which gift do you feel was the majority for you today? Which gift was the majority for you today? Spend time in nature. Bless it. Love that, Raywin. Which gift was the majority? You may have had many, but I want you to pick one right now, just because somebody started with that. And I'm interested in hearing that. Intuition. Beautiful, Marianne. Vision. Beautiful, Carol. Clairvoyance. And intuition, Marianne, may also be claircognizance for you. I'm just getting a hit on that. Come on, give me one. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. Joyce, come up with one. Try to pick one that you feel. Did you see when your eyes were closed? Did you hear things that you should do? Finish reading spiritual assessments I received. Did you have an intuitive hit to do that? Just try and come up with one. Sentience, clairsentience, feeling, sentience, intuition. I just know. That's claircognizance, Gina. I just know is claircognizance. Joyce, clairaudient. Beautiful, Joyce. Dana, clairvoyance. You may not believe that gift. Can you start believing that that's the gift from this moment forward? I just want you to start developing and working with. Give me a yes or a no. Yes. Yes. Even Joyce said yes. If I got a yes from Joyce, I did well. Definitely. Good. My last question before I turn it over to you guys. Whether you feel you got in touch with your genius or not, and you can be honest about this, do you feel like you got a tiny bit of closer about your own unique quality? Do you feel like you got a tiny bit closer with your own unique quality? And if you didn't, it's okay. You got confirmation, Gina. Great. Marianne said yes. Absolutely. Good, Carol. And believe me, if there's a no in there, probably. Beautiful, Joyce. Like that. I'm okay with no's. That means there's always room to grow. And what I would say to somebody who's like a no, or Joyce said probably, because I think, Joyce, you may be having a hard time believing your own process too, possibly. You explore it. You do more skills. You do more things to help grow it. So it helps. Okay. Tammy said, Tammy, I love that you use caps, making sure I get it all. Yes, I knew them, just wanted clarity on how best to use them for a business. Great. Okay. So I am going to open this up to Q&A for a bit right now. Okay. But before I do have a program that teaches people how to really dive deep into all your gifts, channeling, working with spirit, getting moving this into, if you want to move into a business. Not everybody in the program wants to do a business. It helps you to, I'm teaching what I do in a much elevated manner, because the group is so elevated in consciousness that we are elevating together. So it's really quite amazing. And it doesn't matter what spectrum you're on, although you have to fill out an application in order to see if that's right for you. It's a really incredible program. It's called Next Level Living. And if you're interested in doing it, I'm going to put the link in here. I would suggest you take a look at it. Take a look at the application. The price is on there. I don't hide prices. I don't try to get you on a sales call. I'm not interested in it. I'm only interested in having people in the program that are ready. But we're learning how to channel. Right now, this month, they're learning how to channel from the place they came from. Learning soul, how to work with your soul, clairvoyancy, clairaudience, deeper. Next month is mediumship. In terms of mediumship, what the general public knows it is, talking to deceased loved ones. We dive deep in, you get a meditation, you get business tips. There's a lot on there and it's really good, but it's not overwhelming. It's not a ton of teaching. The teaching is so profound. It's a lot of you taking into action into your life. So if you're interested in learning more, I'm putting this in the chat. That's fine, Marilyn. And you should check it out and fill out an application. Again, we don't do sales calls. If you feel like a fit, I will book a call with you and we will talk about it. I'm not a pitcher sales pitching person. And I'm also not a convincer. You have to feel like it's right for you. And then we have to talk to make sure it's right for you. So if you're interested, check it out. So it's MarilynAlauria.com/next, MarilynAlauria.com/next. And what I'll probably do, I can even email it to you guys, so I can email it as well. Okay, let's get to questions. I have about 15 minutes. Tell me if you have a question about what happened or you need more clarity, give it to me in a very succinct manner, 2 sentences, and I will help you. So who has a question? Gina.
I've been really tired lately, which is, I think, why I dragged today. I just have been wanting to sleep a lot. So I feel like that affects. Okay, so what it goes back to is I just don't think my soul light is burning very bright. I just feel I'm tired and bogged down in the mental activity. So I did do I did your work, but I didn't do that part. Like I mean, I did, but I didn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I didn't.
okay.
So what would you recommend for that?
Definitely.
So which is why I want to get on a plane, because I know that brings me back to something.
Well, that's your soul. There's something about it that really ignites the light in your soul, but we don't have to wait till we get on a plane in order to ignite the light.
Exactly.
So tiredness can mean a few things. One, definitely you're probably having a lot of activities in your day that are not really lighting you up or exciting. Yep. So there's an activity I give to people that's really good, and it is the 1 to 10 exercise. So every night before you go to bed, Gina, I want you to write it down. List out the events of your day and scale them from 1 to 10. 1 being this totally sucked. 10 being, wow, that was so much fun. And there's a reason why I want you to do that. Anything from 7 to 10, I want you to circle or make note of, and make sure you start adding more of that to your day. The reason is I went through the same thing, bored, exhausted, don't have energy to do anything then. You don't have energy to change your life. And my guides were like, they gave me this. And I started noticing just getting kisses from my dog, going to the grocery store and talking to the cashier, or the guy in the aisle. Those were 7 to 10s. So I made sure that I did these things that they didn't cost money. And all of a sudden, my life completely changed, because you know what happened? Solutions started dropping in. Solution can't drop in when we're bored, we're tired, we're stuck in the problem. Solution drops in when we ignite our light. And igniting our light does not mean, oh my goodness, I have to travel around the world in order to feel excited again. Although, you know, it's great that you know that that helps you. That's really good. I'm good with that. This is going to open you up. The other thing that may be happening is your gifts may be opening up. And when your gifts open up more, which I feel is happening, and you're surrounded by low vibrating energy, it plummets you. So you've got to acknowledge more self-care. So when my gifts were fully opening up, I would go into the spiritual bookstore in my LA at that time, because there was no internet. Oh my goodness, I had to go home and take a nap. I could not handle the input or the energy. I'm very careful about who I spend time with, because I will not exhaust myself. I won't talk to people after 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. My friends are like, can we talk during the week? I'm like, no, I'm so holding space for so many people in my business that I love.
Yeah,
I
that's how I feel too.
Yep.
Was it the one on Abbot-Kinney? I live in Los Angeles. I forget the
It was,
name.
I know, you know what's funny about that one? That was when I just started being a psychic. I was the first psychic to be in that bookstore to work.
What was it called? What's it called? It's still
I can't
there.
remember right now. Oh, Mystic Journey bookstore.
Mystic Journey. Mystic Journey.
No, it was Bodhi Tree, but that I left that.
Gotcha.
So does that help you?
Yeah, I think that there's some like I just do a lot of corporate work, and I think that's not exactly what I want to be doing. I enjoy what you were talking about, the one-on-ones, the meeting people, but all the proposal writing, and then, you know, it's
So
you know what I'm saying.
So you want to be able to bridge that.
I want to be freer.
Right. But the thing is, we think in our head, we have to get rid of that before we feel better.
No,
yeah. So you know that. So now it's about, it's like finding, first of all, if it's not the job itself that's going to ignite the light, it's, so for me, when I was in the bookkeeping jobs, right, and it was just, ugh, I would do specific things at the bookkeeping job that ignited my light. I always made sure I worked with good people, but I would go into the bathroom stall. That was my best place. I would have the best time in the stalls in the bathroom, because I would take 5 minutes for myself. When I was a smoker at NBC Olympics, I'd go downstairs when they stopped us and I would smoke cigarettes. That was like, and sit in Rockefeller Center. So I don't smoke anymore. You don't want to smoke to do that. So you need to take the 7 to 10 list, add it into a corporate day. Okay. I don't care if you spend 5 minutes and you're like, I'm going to watch a YouTube about going to the Israel and checking out Israel, going to okay. There's a lot you can do.
All right, good.
Great. Thank you. Great question, honey.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Let's see if, somebody else. Let me just unpin her. Anybody else? Nobody else has questions? Oh, yeah, sure. Marianne, let me pin you. I want everybody to meet Alyssa first. This is Alyssa. Alyssa is in my Next Level Living program. I don't want you to talk about that. I want you to talk about you, honey. Tell them a tiny bit about you, just for like a minute, because I'd like them to get to know you, about where your business is and where they can find you. Unmute, hun. It's not unmuting. It's not unmuting.
You were saying Alyssa, though.
Yes, I'm talking to Alyssa.
Okay.
For a second. It won't unmute. Put it in the chat and I'll read. Oh, there you go.
Okay, I'm unmuted, I think now.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Oh, hi, everybody, and I'm so glad to be here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This has just been awesome. I've gone through a lot of really hard times, especially lately in my life. And it really took me down a rabbit hole. And this has been a huge learning experience for me. Is that for me, I always thought that being a healer for so many years and helping thousands of people, that I really had it all together. And when I just lost my father last month and my best friend, and it really hit home, and all this trauma and things that I had been stuffing down really came to the surface for me. And I had to really do a lot of grieving, and before I could even try to work through it. And I think that that's been the biggest lesson for me, is to allow myself to grieve and to feel feelings. So I just wanted everybody to know that, you know what, we all have stuff in our life. And if we can just, feel through it, feel the feelings, write them out, like Marilyn was saying, work it out, get out and move physically, go out in nature. That has just been like the best healing thing, to do. And I do a lot of work on the subconscious. So I have a lot of tools that's really helped me through that too. But it's been a huge unraveling experience. But you know what? It's been really healing and an awesome opportunity for growth.
Right.
So in that, I'm really, really grateful, really grateful.
You know what I love about that? And I do have to move to, but I want you to share your website. But what I love about that, Alyssa, is what I want people to start doing. And I'm really appreciate that you shared from such a transparent, vulnerable place. People think that you have a business or you're a healer, you're this, and you've got it all together. And it's like, no, we're constantly evolving and growing too. Yeah. And that's just such a transparent, great place to share from. So thank you for that. What's the name of your website, honey?
Alisa, ALISA, for health.
Great. I'll share it in the link if anybody wants to check out Alisa for health. Thanks,
you.
Alisa.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I've seen you grow so incredible and gone through so much that it's just been such a delight to see. So I just wanted to share you, alisaforhealth.com. Thanks, honey, Alisa. All right, Marianne.
So, so there was no question as to synchronicity, and you're bringing up Alyssa, since the words heal and feel probably answer the question that was kind of forming in me, which was, we've all been through a lot, but I feel like my light is shining, and something you had said, like Marilyn. So I thank Marilyn and Alyssa, that it was in my stomach. And when I tried to feel where it was, like I could feel the light and the love emanating from here, but it's stuck between my stomach and my heart. But it's so what I need to do. And I know I tap into the joy in it. Your 10 minutes of joy of helping, but the heal and feel is what I need to do, I think, more, because I feel like my chakras, like I'm stuck, like the voice isn't 100% out. So the heal and feel, thank you both, because I think that's the question was, how do I bring my soul purpose flame higher? And yes, tap into the 10 minutes of joy, here and there, and to look for the joy, but to heal and feel. So thank you both. I think that's the answer. And
okay, so I want to give you something else to do. And what I'll do with all of you on here is just give us a few days, because we're going through some team transition yet again. I have a really great chakra meditation, about abundant chakra meditation. So I'll email that to all of you on this call, and it'll be really good. But what I want from you right now, and I want everybody to do this, Marianne, give me a color that makes you feel connected to source. What color is it?
First I saw like, I love greens are healing. Like I feel like source would be yellow to me. Yellows. Okay,
you're wearing a yellow shirt, but if why did green come up first? Don't deny that color. What about green? Feel into both of them just for a second and tell me which one feels more vibrant for you right now.
When we were doing the meditation in the very beginning, or like when we were thinking about things at the very beginning, I saw light. I felt very red light, and then green came in immediately, and I felt like archangel kind of thing, green healing.
Right.
That was why I identified with a green. And then later you had us do something else, and I felt like a spirit, like it was like a white, yellowish light that came in too, but I felt blocked when I tried to get to the last thing. I felt like it was a little block to my flame. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
No, but people think they're supposed to get everything right away, and you don't. Because what happens in the moment of this work is a consciousness comes forward and you're like, wait a second, that's a consciousness. That's a beautiful consciousness. I'm a little blocked right now. Now I get to work with that. And it's not like we throw everything out with the baby with the bathwater. No, we get to now unpack that and discover more. So I want you to play with those colors in breath. And I want you to breathe the green in between the heart and the stomach. But I also want you to play with the yellow and the white. If the block showed up as a physical symbol, what would the block look like?
It was more like stones in the way. Like when I
Right.
saw the initial stones in the way.
Right. So you're going to breathe that colored light into those stones and just see what happens. And you could work with both colors and see which one are more powerful. Okay. You don't have to do it right now. You can do it when you're later on.
Okay.
But here's the thing I'm going to teach you about stones and blocks. I was in a meditation, big boulder, like Jesus's boulder that moved away from the tomb showed up in front of me. And I said to my guides, how do I get past this block? I need to get past this block. And they said, you go around it, you live your life, and whatever that block represents is going to show up in your life's experiences, and you're going to work through it. You don't stare at the block. You don't wait till the block dissolves. You live your life. Okay. So I want to show you that these colors, there's something in these colors in your breath, whether you're conscious of what's happening or not, it is going to create movement in your life and in your thoughts. Okay. Great job, Marianne. How do you feel? Okay.
Yeah. I thank you for tools. I mean, they're showing up everywhere. Thank you.
You're welcome, honey. Thank you.
I want to tell you, I won't take your course right away because I will drive you and your spirit guides crazy in the beginning. Maybe in a year, I will be more evolved. And that's what my thought was.
That's fine. Look at the application and you decide. As Alyssa knows, I don't let anybody drive me nuts. I move them through their stuff really quick. I really do, because I don't put up with it. And it's really good because it gets people thinking in a very direct manner, but you get to decide. I'm not going to push you into anything, but you take a look at it. Okay.
But I love you. And you really gave me a lot so far. So I will look at it. And if it's meant to be, then it will be there.
Well, the other thing you have to decide is, I don't care whether it's a year, it's up to you. If not now, why not now? You know, a lot of people put things off all the time. And then what is going to accelerate your growth so that you're ready, whether it's with me or someone else or just your own work? We don't need to put anything off for a year, even if it's not joining my program. It's not about that. It's what that represents. Does that make sense?
Yes. And maybe the stones are myself throwing stones in the way because I'm not sure which, and I need to move them. So thank you for that.
Great.
And I'll start the meditation. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome, honey. Thank you. Okay, I can take one more just because I have to go to the vet. So Tammy, you raised your hand. Oops, just lowered your hand. Sorry, Tammy. Ask unmute. Tammy, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I was the one who said I did know my gifts coming in, and that is progress for me because for a long time I never felt that those were gifts. It's just natural. I've always been kind, nurturing, empathic, compassionate. I work with people with disabilities for 25 years, and it just came natural. So I never saw those as gifts. And so probably for the last 6 years, I can feel myself wanting to shift out of doing the work that I'm doing and just nurturing and caring for people. And I want to shift into more helping people help themselves.
Right. So what's your question?
So I'm kind of stuck in moving forward in using those gifts. I took the Reiki training, I wanted to be able to heal myself. But I think I always feel like I need to know everything before I get started.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
And I'm just kind of stuck in moving forward. Like, just, am I going to be good enough to help people move their energy when I'm just getting started?
Well, here's the thing. There's a couple of things here that I'm going to say real quick, Tammy. Nobody, and Alyssa can tell you this because I'm watching Alyssa grow her business and the hoops that she's jumping through, and she's really going for it. You have to educate yourself on what it's like to start a business. It's not only about the healing aspect, it's about the marketing and the sales aspect as well, which is something I'm starting to bring into Next Level Living. You just said, I don't know if I really have the gifts or if I can really heal people. Then you've got to get out and start volunteering and asking people if you could do it, because that's the thing. When I started reading, it was all for free. I didn't want to do this. And then I was like, oh my goodness, like people were like lining up to talk to me. And it really is no ego here. I was amazed myself that this stuff was coming out of me because I moved myself out of the way. When healers make it, and psychics and mediums make it about, am I going to be good enough? Am I going to be, it's none of your business. It's about, can you get spirit to work through you? And the biggest thing is to teach yourself how to get out of the way. It's okay to feel stuck. That's normal. You're going on a new journey. It's not okay to stay stuck. So I'm going to ask you to do something every single day that's actionable to it. Start looking at, what do I need? Who do I need to ask? Like, well, I just went to, I'm a big gatherer of people. I'm really good at gathering people. Go to a couple of friends, say, hey, I want to practice. Do you have somebody I can practice on? Do a disclaimer when you practice on someone. Hey, thank you so much for allowing me to do this. This is what I say in readings when I started out. The reading is the beginning of the journey. Take what you like, leave the rest. You're the master of your destiny. That little statement released me. You know, because people come in like, oh my goodness, heal me. I can't heal you if you don't want to be healed. Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to stay stuck. It's okay to have that feeling though. Okay. So what I want you to do is God, universe brought you to study Reiki because that gift exists inside your soul. It's not a pipe dream. The pipe dream idea that it's not true or you can't do it is coming from outside noise. So I want you to start doing it, okay?
My Reiki teacher had said, don't do it for free, because then you're devaluing your service and yourself.
You don't have to. You can ask for a suggestion. Look, I don't agree with
and
this.
I'm like, okay, to charge people when I'm just starting.
You have to feel comfortable with it. That's my whole point. I don't box people up, but what you just said to me, I'm not going to, this is how I meet people on their path. Great. Suggested donation, $5 or up. Okay. That's it. End of story. I don't get into these. Here's this rule. Here's this rule. This one, everybody get your rules out of my way. Let me figure it out. So I'm helping you right now. That's okay that he said that or she said that. That's what they believe. Is that your belief? My belief in the beginning was, I want to give it to free because I'm practicing.
I would give everything for free.
Well, you don't want to give it free forever. No.
I know.
You want to make money from it. So if that's an issue for you, that's a whole other Megillah.
Yeah.
Suggested donation, $1. Suggested donation, $5 to your favorite charity. Suggested donation, I'm going to give to this rescue. Whatever makes you feel like you have the ease and grace to do the work.
Hospice.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah. There you go. Go into a volunteer in a hospice and ask if you do Reiki. There's some that are open to it. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you. Does that help you?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Tammy. Okay. I literally have 5. I really have to go because I have to go to the vet, but I know who raised their hand. Oh, it's gone. Okay. Was it Tammy? No, I just talked to Tammy. Somebody else had raised their hand and I wanted to try to get to them. Who was it? Carol. Okay. So really, you literally have to give me the question in 2 sentences. Go ahead, Carol. I don't know where you are.
Okay, it wasn't a question.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, thank you very much. It wasn't a question. I just wanted to make a comment sure. That when I did the alignment part of SASS, I looked at, when I grow up, I'm going to be a nurse. And I did it for 50 years and I've just retired. I never looked at that as a gift. It was just like, I meant to do it, I did it. And for the first time, I realized that I was. Yeah.
I never looked at it as a gift. Repeat that sentence.
I never looked at it as a gift. It was just something I knew that I had to do.
Something you knew you had to do and something you desired to do?
No, I knew I was being guided to do it. So
okay.
I followed that insight.
Did you like it?
I loved it, every minute of it.
I just wanted to
flowed.
What?
It flowed beautifully and I reached great heights.
That's why I wanted to stop you. I'm sorry, because that's a really important thing for people to hear, because when I opened up to my mediumship, everything just opened up. Wasn't something I thought. So our gifts, we think our gifts are like these lightning bolt moments. They're the moments where we're in flow. Didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to repeat what you said because it was so impactful. Keep going.
Yes. The impact for me was I never acknowledged that in my life. It was something I did. And with doing the work today, I realized that that was one of the greatest things I could have done to love myself. And I've never understood that before. That then allowed me to bring that up in our genius call and work with that. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been magical and big eye opener.
Thank you. What I love about that, Carol, is you said acknowledge. And a lot of my work is acknowledging self. That's people are like, how can I see? How can I hear? How can I talk to my guides? You can't if you think you can't do it. You can when you start having this intimate relationship with yourself and your soul, because your guides are reflections of your soul. And then you acknowledge. And then all of a sudden your world opens up, and it's not my world. It's not Alyssa's world. It's not Tammy's world. It's Carol's world. And that's where the magic happens. Beautiful. Thank you. That statement was gorgeous.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, everyone, you are amazing. Thank you so much. Oops, I almost put something in there. I really want to thank every single one of you for participating. I'd love to know your biggest takeaway right now in the last minute for all of you. And I will, I wrote down chakra meditation. I have to figure this out. What I would say to you is when I send it, download it quickly, because we're getting rid of a lot of systems. So just make sure you can download it. So, and I think you can with the system, we'll send it in, but I will send an email with the chakra meditation. And for those of you who are even thinking about next level living, or maybe you're like, I can't do it. It's this, it's that. Look at the application, fill it out. I promise you, first of all, there are people I tell no to. I'm only going to do what's for your best, for your best interest. So fill out the application. We'll send this link again in the email. And really think about it, because it's an incredible class. I haven't really shared the changes that are going on there. So some of the takeaways we got here, Gina said, pay attention to what lights me up and what does not, and rate activities daily. Love that, Gina. Need for getting more connected with self. Love that, Joyce. Really good takeaway. Absolutely great takeaway. List of activities through the day ratings. Great. I actually have a YouTube video on that. It's called the 1 to 10 exercise. So if you go to YouTube and you type in Marilyn Alauria 1 to 10 exercise, it's going to come up. So you can watch a little bit more about it. Trying to pull it up, but I have to go. So just do that and you should be able, here it is. I got it. Woohoo, lucky me. Let me give you this YouTube link. And you should watch it. And there's also the souls list. If you want to learn something else, go watch the souls list. Beginning to understand what self-love is for me. I love that, Carol. Take time each day to acknowledge my gifts. Tammy, great. All right, guys, let's all unmute and say goodbye together. And thank you so much for participating. You're just a beautiful, beautiful group. And if you don't want to unmute, it's totally fine. But I always like to get everybody's energy. All right, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Much love. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.